All praises to the Most High YAHAWAH. All praises, brothers and sisters. All praises. Give me a one if you can hear me well. And the light is giving me a little trouble. Please click the like button so the people can see the notification. I'm trying to turn on this light right now. We're about to study to show ourselves approved. Brethren, sisters, we're going to make mistake. There are a lot of stumbling block. We're all going to stumble. We're all going to fall. But we're going to come back up. Yes. All right, then. We good. We are back in business. That is good. That is good. Oh, no. Let me play a little music. Just wait for more people to get here. But in the meantime, brothers, let me plug this right here. In the meantime, brothers, we have a couple of stuff to, you know what? I'm not gonna play. Huh? No. Oh. All right. All right. I see what happened here. Okay. Brothers, brethren. Before we go in, and we'll take a little moment to talk about, give the people a little time to get here to understand what's going on here. So, beloved brothers and sisters, before we go further, we'll say shalom and welcome. It is good to be here. Thank you for being here. And there are a couple of things we need to clear up. And it has come to my attention that a lot of people, they are new to these channels. Most of you, I would say 95%, are already subscribed to the other channels, but you already subscribe to this backup channel. And the Most High foreseen this, that's why he had us making a backup channel. Now, what I'm trying to do, shalom brothers and shalom sisters, I'm trying to clarify a couple of things that we went through. Which one of you saw that video? Well, the thumbnail said the day of Noah, and then I believe say as the days in Noah. Which one of you saw that latest video that I upload? It didn't have any videos clipped in it, but it was a profile video. Yes, brother Phil. This is the this is the backup channel. They took my channel down, man. They took my channel down for a week because of we made a live and we read the Psalm 94 and it went too hard. So they said, "Oh, you were too violent. Psalm 94 was too violent." Okay. Now, thank you for all of you brothers and sisters that saw the video. Now, brothers, let us expand on that a little moment. Now, because we know what's going on, because we know what's happening, brothers, um, we are not dismayed. Okay, we are not dismayed and we are not shocked and we are quite happy because when you look all the clues, brothers, and it's not like we are forcing things in there. We are not forcing anything. We are not trying to add things that didn't happen. Everything happened the way it is. We had the eyes, we saw it, we understand what the Most High is saying. Now the ark is here, brethren. Okay, the ark is here. We are in this ark, brothers. The only thing is we do not know when it's going to start raining. But we know in fact it's gonna be soon because we are inside of it. The Most High tell us the great captain Noah came in and brought the ark. He gave us multiple clues, multiple signs, brothers. We cannot ignore this. Now, for some of us, thank you, sister. The rapture, the real rapture, is upon us, brothers. It is upon us. There is no better way to put it. The real rapture is upon us. The ark is here, and we inside of this ark. We are brothers. Again, now listen. If I already some people already email me or texting, but they are not. They are new to these channels. They're already complaining about certain other things that we've been cover all the time, brothers. You know, and we already covered those things. People always look for like the little minute, the little micro things they can see, and then they will complain about it. Those are newcomers. But for the people that are new here, if you watch this video and the Holy Spirit move upon you, you will understand. If the Holy Spirit move upon you see, like, for a fact, like my head is covered. For some reason, the Holy Spirit cannot get into my head, because that's how simple the Most High is. The Most High will not hear your prayer if you cover your head. If you put something on top of your head, this is how silly the Most High is. He cannot hear you because you block your head. Okay, that's why when the heathens are praying to Satan, they put something on their head. If you believe this type of things, this channels is not for you. Just unsubscribe and go somewhere else. If you believe when the Messiah said, do not cover your head, do not cover your heart, uncover your heart. Don't lie, don't hide things in your heart and thinking like the Messiah will not see this. Okay? If you cover your heart and the Messiah if you cover your head, which means your heart, the Messiah will not hear you, which means he will not have respect unto your prayers. The Messiah can hear everybody, brother, whether you want it or not. He's simply not hearing, he say, will not have respect unto it. That is why, brothers, when we have prayer, when we have fast, we ask the Messiah to have respect on our fast. You may have a fast, brothers. The Messiah do not respect this fast because your heart was covered the entire time. So if this is your first time here, and then you're welcome. If you have any question, if anything seems odd, like what do you refer to the Holy Spirit as a female, you may ask question, we will answer. If the answer doesn't sit right with you and say, brother, this is not for me, but good luck though, then you move on. Now, brethren, with the ark, the whole business with the ark, and we've been learning a lot about ship. Okay, ship and ark and vessels, they are used to move people out of the way. Now we understand in the book Deuteronomy 28:68, where they're talking about our curse, and we were taken to Egypt, into bondage with ship. Will it make sense, brothers? I'm just throwing this out there. If it resonated with you, would it make sense if we were taken by ship into slavery? If we are going to take him out of slavery, wouldn't it be by ship also? Because this is me just talking hish. I'm just throwing this out there because we are seeing, when I say ship, brothers, I don't mean the regular ship. Come on, man. I mean the Most High ship. I mean the Most High ship, man. The Most High got his own ship. Would it make sense? Because when the Most High sent the message about Noah's ship, okay, the ark, he showed you Noah on both sides. An ark is a ship, brethren. It's just they referred as an ark, okay, a chariot. Wouldn't it make sense if the Most High have to take us somewhere? Wouldn't he use his ship that we know as chariots, or they know as UFO, or whatever unidentified things they cannot identify themselves? It would have made sense if the Most High would have taken us, and he would have used a ship, because he gave us many clues and signs, including in the stories that we read yesterday's. This dude was coming from Phoenicia to Egypt. He used ship. When he got in the middle of the sea, brother, what did he saw? He saw a bunch of ships, a bunch of pirate ships. They get attacks. They chase the pirate ships, and they actually take one of the pirates ships. They burn it to the ground with everything, with everybody in it, and then they steal. They were not steal, because they retrieve all the stuff the pirates stole. And then when they're about to get to the Holy Land, brothers, They met a giant freaking aircraft carrier like ship. A giant ship, 3 poop deck is just like that means it's 3 times bigger than his ship. And this ship has somewhere around 1,000 fighting men, plus 300 warring men, plus another 1,000 of people that walk around in the ship. Shalom, brothers and sisters. Shalom. Okay, shalom. Welcome. Thank you for being here. Brothers, let us go and study to show the Mosiah if he can approve those. We're going to show the Mosiah we are seeking his face. We are not here, brothers, to fight and discuss who's wrong, who's right, who's elder. You need to listen to my elder because we have a camp and then, my elder will correct you. We're not here for this. Then again, brothers, like I said, if this is not for you, brothers, we'll move somewhere else and then, we can move on. Now, with that being said, we are going to study the book of Pillars of Fire. It's past 10 minutes. We're going to study letter 2. In letter 1, we find out who Sesostris was, okay? And Sesostris, oh, wait, I got to put this thing over here so it won't. All right. No, it's not good here. There we go. In letter 1, brethren, we find out who Sesostris is. Just a little recap. Sesostris is the son. Sesostris is the son of Epiphia. Epiphia is the queen of Phoenicia. Sesostris is a Phoenician. He's coming from Phoenicia to Egypt to study. He's 28 years old. This is thousands of years ago. So this is over like 6, 7, 10,000 years ago. We don't know. Somewhere around that time, 10,000 years ago. Those are records from 10,000 years ago, okay? To be fair, we'll say 4,000, around like 4,000 or 5,000 years. But it could be 10,000. We really don't know. Now, Sesostris headed to Egypt. Now, we know in the Old Bible, they said this is Phoenicia and this is Egypt. You could have just walked from Phoenicia to Egypt. They are like right next to each other. But this dude could not walk from Phoenicia to Egypt. He took a ship. Not even one ship. He took somewhere around like a 50 ship with him. But when he got to Egypt, the ship that he sent the rest of the ship back, they were his escort, his bodyguard, and he stays in Egypt to study. He is 28 years old. He met Ramesses. Ramesses was 34 years old. So, and then he met Ramesses. So now he's tell the mother, he's writing the mother, he's going to explain the mother. He's going to describe Egypt, brothers. And we know this Egypt that this man over there is describing, it has nothing to do with that desert over there in Africa. This Egypt that he's describing is one of the best part of the land. And we know in the book of Jubilee, the Mosiah gives Shem, aka Melchizedek, the best part of the land. The land that have season, both cold and hot in the middle. It's our land. Let us dive in, brothers. Now, he is describing our land, but the land is quote unquote desolate unto us. When they say the land will be desolate, brothers, they don't say that no, there is Ramesses, there is Ramesses. There's Ramesses 1, Ramesses 1. Okay, there's Ramesses, Moses' brother. Moses thought he was his brother because Moses thought like Pharaoh was actually his father until he find out he wasn't. So we're going to study. We don't know who this Ramesses is. We're going to study to find out who is Ramesses. Amensi is Ramesses' mother. Amensi is the queen of Egypt. All right. Now, Sesostris is writing to his mother in Phoenicia. This is what those people were going on in the land, and our own land, which they call our own land, Egypt. Now, brethren, when they said the land will be desolate, that means the land will have no God watching over it. The land will have no priest. They will have no kings. The land is desolate. Now, when another person came in, that person brought their God. They brought the Caesar Borgia, they brought the Catholics, they brought all the religion, and they brought the government, they brought the priesthood of Mahan, they brought all the priests over there, and then they brought the military, they brought the politic, the president and stuff. That means the land is theirs. That means the land is not, you don't know this land anymore. It's desolate to you. That's what it means. Now the land is desolate to us. Okay? Remember in the first chapter, in the first letter, the Egyptian and Israelites were ruling side by side because Egypt was ruled by the 12 shepherds, the 12 shepherds kings. The 12 tribes of Israel rule the entire Egypt. All of the brothers were kings over there. They rule it. From Joseph to all the way to all the brothers. Abraham ruled, Melchizedek ruled Palestine, Phoenicia, Tyre, Assyria. Abraham ruled the entire Egypt. Abraham taught the Egyptian how to do everything. And you will find out here, brothers, the Egyptian did not really want to worship the gods of wood. They never did want to do that because they said, we live with the Israelites. We saw what their gods did. We will not worship gods of wood. And then the new guys that came in and swagger jack everything and put their own stuff, they forced those people to worship woods. Remember, that is why those three Hamite sisters, okay, those three Hamite sisters, they did not want to worship the god of woods and stone and things like that. They got killed for that. They got murdered. They want to worship YAHAWAH because back then, brothers, whether it was the priesthood of Mahan or the priest of Melchizedek or the priesthood of the Mosai, they know the Mosai is the real deal. They know that. They know that, but they know for a fact in order for the Mosai to have respect, which means to hear them, to have respect, they have to cleave unto us. The Egyptians did cleave unto us, brothers. You could not tell a difference between an Egyptian and an Israelite. They were living like brothers and sisters. They married us, we married them, which is why the Mosai wanted to bring this law in the desert to prevent certain things. When we left Egypt, brothers, it's like we left with the entire Egypt. Everybody want to live with us. Everybody want to worship our God. They want to get that blessing too. That's why we are so many strife in the desert, because a lot of people in there, they start saying like, man, I should have stayed in my own country. Why did I follow those people? And certain people say, hey, man, I should have stayed in Egypt, man, and stuff. Wow, I'm going to die in here. So, brothers, let us go ahead. Let us read letter 2. This is Sesostris writing to his own mother and describe the whole scene to the mother. Again, brothers, and that other chapter, this is letter 2. Okay, letter 3. We actually went to letter 3 on the other channel, but we're just going to recap a little. My dear royal mother. So he's in the city of the sun. The city name is On. He's in the city of On. All right. My dear mother, think not that the splendors of the court of Pharaoh's daughter, as the Egyptians still love to call their queen, will lead me to forget my own royal home and the dear sins in which I have passed my life. Sins that memory will ever cherish, as they are associated with the love and care of a mother such as a prince was never before blessed by the gods. Take not, my queenly mother, that while I describe with pleasure the magnificence of Queen Amense's realm, I think less of your own kingdom, but rather all I behold only causes me to love my native land to the more. For the glory of Tyre, my home, is my mother's presence, and my mother is not here. Queen Amense may have the homage of my intellect, but not of my heart is reserved only for thee. Now, brothers, we see something. Yes, this is the pillar of fire, brother Phil. This is something that going on with Gentiles. The moment they get into our land, brothers, they are shocked. They're like, wow. Now, understand the reason why he's writing to his mother like this, because the mother is also a queen too, but she's the queen of Phoenicia. But Phoenicia is decaying. The Phoenicia is decaying. So he's telling the mother, like, Mom, I understand, you're my mother. I'm 28 years old. Just because this description that I'm about, thank you, sister, that's the word, mesmerized. The description that I'm about to tell you about this land, the custom of those people, that doesn't mean I will cleave unto them. That doesn't mean I forget you. That doesn't mean I reject my beloved mother and I attach to Egypt and stuff. That's what they always say, brothers. Remember Abbasis. When Abbasis get to Judea, he say, my king, the women over there, man, the women are beautiful. Their hair is so long and their hair are tresses, okay, are braided with gold and silver. They are so polite. And then their God are even more powerful. But don't worry. All men Abbasis is an OG. I'm going to stay and click with the gang and stuff. We all know how that turned out, okay? So, yeah, let us go ahead and that's what he's trying to tell the mother, brothers. Tell the mother, don't be, come on, it's beautiful, but my heart belongs to my mom and my country. I have prefaced my letter in this manner, dear mother, lest you should jealousy read the glowing description I give what I behold, and may fear that luxuries and grandeur of Egypt will make me dissatisfied with the lesser splendor of the court of Phoenicia. Fear not, I shall bring back to thee a faithful love to my people. I shall bring back to thee a sons of faithful love, and my people the loyal affection due to prince from the princes. Okay, so he tell the mother, don't worry, everything's going to be. I'm gonna come back to you, Mom, as the same way that I went there. Nothing's going to happen to me. So he's telling the mom that he is now in the capital city of Egypt, which is On by that time on, and this is what he described. I close my letter to you in sight. This is page 22. As I thought of the city of the sun, but what I believed to be the capital of the gods was but the colossal gateway leading from the river to the city, which is half an hour ride inland. So this dude thought when he got there, the city was so big and beautiful. He thought it was in the capital. He thought it was like in the capital city, but he find out that he was just in the entrance of the capital city. And then now he's riding in there, and then he starts seeing things. This is what he saw. The central temple is a lofty and wonderful edifice of brilliant red sandstone with 60 columns of marbles enriching in facades. These with the 300 representing the 360 days of the ancient Egyptian year. The Egyptian brethren, they had 360 years. Okay, they didn't count their years the way that we do. Brothers, when you look at the ages, for those of you, this will be a little bit weird. Some of you, this will be witchcraft. But when you look at the ages, for instance, I believe we're in the age of Aquarius right now because of the December 21st, the Great Conjunction. Every ages, brethren, their years are a little bit off. Their years are a little bit different. Couple thousand years ago, some year used to be 360. 365. Yes, one of the Druids tell us back in Atlantis time, the sun used to rise and set 4 times in the day before nights came in. You used to see the sun came in the first time and then pass and then set. You don't see the stars. It's just dark. You don't see the moon, and then the sun appear again and then do that 4 times. Amazing. That's what he was telling us. He said based on the books that they have in there, they say the sun used to set 4 times. So each times we approach, brothers, the Most High did a little something with each ages. Each age is something always happened in those ages. Okay, so that's what that is. The front of this sublime temple is pierced by 3 colossal gateways, broad enough for 4 chariots to pass abreast. These gateways are adorned with paintings and the brightest tint representing processes of priests, sacrifices, offering of incense, and all the imposing religious ceremony appearing at the worship of the sun. Above the center gateway between the noble wings of the propula which flanked it, it is representing emblem of Osiris or Osiris, and the shape of the splendid shield of the sun, a half sphere of gold, from which extending wings are many yards, each feather glittering with precious stones. Around the globe are entwisted two brazen emblems, of which I have not yet learned the signification. Imagine, my dear mother, this stupendous and noble temple, which is vast wings facing the river and reflected upon its sunny surface. Fancy the river itself flowing laterally through these gates, this gateway into an artificial canal lined with trees, beautiful brothers, and bordering by lesser temples which recede in long lines of diminishing columns. Behold, oranges swinging in the clusters and branches bending over the water, while scarlet pomegranate figs and olive field trees innumerable that shade the terrace. Brothers, what this dude is describing the temple of Osiris. And we know, brothers, due to the studies, all those gods, they are saying they were the god of Egyptian, they were the so-called the Shemites, the Sephites that came out of when Atlantis destroyed. Old man Enoch was the one they known as Thoth, and a lot of brethren back then, they actually worship those people as God, such as that fellow in the book of remembrance. Or most of the people in the book of remembrance, when they came in Egypt and other book, we find out like they worship those people as God, because Egypt, which is what our own land, were actually a refugee camp from that for the Atlantean. Egypt was actually like a somewhere they came in. Remember, in the tablet of Enoch, the tablet of Thoth, which is Enoch, and the sacred tablet of Thoth, Thoth told the story, which is Enoch talking. He said when he got to the land of Egypt, he met a bunch of barbaric people, the Canaanites, that were that stole the barbaric that was in that land way before the Canaanite get there. Okay, the half giants, the people that were there, that the most of them were the children of Cain. So when Thoth get here, aka Enoch, and then they form a war, and then they're about to attack Enoch, and then Enoch just walked right upon them with a staff, and then he just pointed the staff at them and shoot a beam, shoot a wave. A beam came out of the staff, and then it freezed them in places. The entire army froze in place. And then Enoch sent a telepathic message to them. He told them, be at peace. I come with peace. I am not here to fight you. Because they saw Enoch and all the other brothers coming in the chariots and the spaceship. Because Atlantis was like, when Atlantis, yeah, brothers, when you are reading those other books, you like, brothers, your breath, you feel like somebody's sucking your breath, brothers. When Enoch frees them, the entire army is running. Those barbaric tried to fight Enoch. Enoch came in with the staff, and then he pointed the staff at them, and then a beam come out of the staff and freeze everybody in one place. And then Enoch sent a message through the ley line. Remember, the old Druids tell us 12,000 years ago, even the children that came out of the womb, they know the secret of gravity. Our people used to levitate mountains. They used to levitate giant freaking rocks when they were in Atlantis. They had so many powers. That's why they hide those books. They call them other names so you won't touch them. So when Enoch sent the telepathic, he didn't even open his lips. He just take it, and then it went in their head. He say, "I come in peace, and I'm not here to commit war with you. The reason why I'm here because it's war." So Enoch taught them how to use the ley line, to fly, to do all kind of things. Enoch built pyramids with them before Abraham came in. Enoch wrote books. All those tablets in Egypt were actually descended from Atlantean. And we know in that book that I'm studying, brothers, it is said one of those caves that we have in the Holy Land, there's a freaking pyramid inside of that cave. How do you build a pyramid on the inside of a cave? I don't know. So all those guys, they were calling Enoch tough. Another brother, they call him Osiris. Another sister, they call it because our people were gods to them, brothers. We were gods. The way they were used to do things, because they never walked on this plane, on this earth. They floated. Remember in that book, which one of you saw the video of the Lemurian? And then in the book that beloved brother Big Judah bought, that Enoch, the Lemurians say they when the Atlantean came in, they came in like they fly in the sky with no wings. The description that they give you is straight up like Superman. They just flew in the sky, and then they floated in the sky. In the book of the peace, the book of the Gospel of Essene, YAHAWAH flew. YAHAWAH, when the guys were waiting for YAHAWAH in the middle of the night and the moon was full, and then when they look upon the moon, they saw a dude standing there in the middle of the air, and then he's slowly descending upon them with his face glowing. And then YAHAWAH came in, and then he didn't open his mouth. He talked to them, but they can hear his thoughts. That's why in the Bible they say YAHAWAH know their thoughts. He know their hearts. He can read your mind, and your true mind is here. Your head, your true head is here. So our people had technology that is way too advanced. That is why they keep suppressing those knowledge, so we won't put our hands onto them. And we will. Okay? Now, brothers, understand what they are describing here when they're calling gods and gods. Those people weren't gods. They were our people that were doing magnificent things back then, brothers. And then they call them gods. All right, let us move in. Boy, it took me a long time to make one point. All right, so this dude is describing the temples. Remember, our people were slaves. They are the one that built those things. These Egyptian, remember the first letters, we were talking about this. So they'll beat them. So to beat this, so this dude is talking, and he said, this temple is so beautiful. There is river. They actually built in artificial canals like the Suez canals. 2 canals go inside of the temple, and they got fountains that spewing water everywhere. There's like orange trees. You can eat the pomegranates, the apples, the mangoes. The temple is all lush. The land is lush and beautiful. And this dude, he's telling his mother that. He said, "Mother, this is beautiful." Okay, he said, and to the canals, my beautiful galley was received, and the sight of thousands of admiring gazers standing upon the steps of the terrace, which led down to the entrance, and on which I had landed to pay homage to the chief captain and the pupilon, who magnificently attired waited by the queens coming to receive me and conduct me to the city. Okay, so we got like thousands of people that come in, and then those are the Egyptians that came in and swagger jacked the land. Joseph, the 12 shepherds, they are the one that make Egypt great. Enoch came in. Egypt was just like a name. Egypt was the land, was our land, because it's happened here in the fourth part. Enoch get all the record, and then he put it there when we were known as the Egyptian. Then those people, Melchizedek, rule Phoenicia, all people rule all over. It's just like they keep changing the name. When you are reading, you're like, okay, what the hell is this? Even here, they will tell you, like, this guy found out some connection he had with Ramesses. Okay, I was almost bewildered by the novelty and splendor of this very scene, and was thinking that nothing could surpass in magnificence this mighty avenue to a city, when all at once the canal expanded into a circular lake completely enclosed by columns. So the water was running all over the temple, brothers. Beautiful. Okay. Richly dressed a person, okay, right, lake completely enclosed by columns, forming majestic colonnades on all sides, in which were walking and conversing innumerable richly dressed persons. Brother, this was a utopia. People beautifully, richly dressing, walking around the temple, talking, conversing, and stuff. Then again, those were the Egyptians. That's why, because we were working for them. Our people are still in the field, but they are enjoying the fruit that Joseph, the 12 shepherds, when they were ruling Egypt righteously, when the Mosai eyes and face were upon Egypt, the Mosai were blessing the land of Egypt, which is our land. They just call Egypt, for some reason, Florida. They call Florida, but thousands of years ago, Florida wasn't Florida. Florida by itself, it's like a country. The United States is like 50 countries. Every country has a name. Georgia is like a country. New York is like a country. So the Mosai has his face to one of those states and flourish it. But that doesn't mean, this state is not part of the whole mass land. The chief captain who was with me in my galley informed me that these columns housed were the favorite resort of the eminent philosophers and scholars of all land, who come hither to be taught in the learning wisdom of the Egyptians. I then looked a little closer when he was pleased to point out the several great philosophers who called wise men in their own kingdom, yet had come hither to learn at the feet of these masters of the world wisdom, the wise men of Egypt. Okay, all right. So let me see. Mm-hmm. All right, this is letter 2. Oh, yeah. Letter 2. So this dude, he said, the captain came in, he said, those columns that you see here, or after the swagger jack all stuff, he said, those columns that you see here, all the philosophers around the earth come over here to study. Remember when Melchizedek was ruling, everybody have to come. Look, brothers, if you read the book of Joshua, all the kings on the earth were coming to Enoch and begged Enoch to rule over them. They begged Enoch because they saw the glory that the Most High give Enoch. They say, Enoch, please rule over us. We accept your rule. Teach us what the Most High is teaching you. And Enoch accepted. Enoch didn't really want to, because if you keep reading book, Enoch spent much of his time learning. He locked himself in a room. He used to get out every day. Then he get out every 2 days. Then he get out every 3, 4, 5 days. Then he get out like every month. Then he started getting out every 1 year, and it never came out again. And then the people got impatient. They're like, what happened? Where's Enoch? Because Enoch was learning. Till now, brothers, as we speak, Enoch is still alive. Enoch and the whole city of the Atlantean, all of people over there, they're still there. They're still alive. Remember, before we were known as Adam has 2 sons, so to speak, for those of you who read the story, Cain and Abel, okay? Cain has children, Abel has one. Cain killed Abel. Abel did not have one. Seth were born. So the line of Seth, the Sethites, they were and other books, when you read it, brothers, they were living in Atlantis, brothers. The Most High give them technology that is beyond anything you can possibly imagine. All right, give me a second. It's feel like I keep going back to Atlantis. Let me take a book. Let me see if I can see this book here first. Oh boy, I can't see it here. Well, there are so many books here. The technology of Atlantis. Let me see. It could be outside. I had so many books here. I had to get a bookshelf outside. So the Most High did not let his people just go. He made everything perfect and presentable to them. The Most High like to do that. He like to give you the best of the best, and then you mess it up. And then he told you, have I not give you the best of the best? What did you do with it? Our people got too proud. They start fighting. When you read other books, brothers, I'm not talking about the book of remembrance. Certain books they have over there. And when you start reading, you say, hey, that's all people. And then they start referring, when you read other book, you connect, you say, wait a minute. We had this, and then things messed up. So this dude was like, oh, yeah, Egypt. It's That's why all the philosophers around the world, so they come here to get, knowledge, as if those knowledge belong to them. One brother, I believe, UBT TV, it says, well, America is pretty much the same thing. Back then, well, not now. Back then, America was the place everybody come to get all their knowledges. And that's why the lane of opportunity. People always coming over here to become movie stars and all that. America is Egypt. Okay, Egypt is in America. Babylon is all over. Wherever you go, you are in Babylon because it's a system. So this dude is talking and things like that. Okay, let me see. There are so many things. I think I already went and I already went I already went into this. Okay, so now, okay, wait a minute. All right. Indeed, dear mother, this fact and the manner of my reception shows that the present dynasty has graciously forgotten the conquest of Egypt by the warlike host of Phoenicia, because Phoenicia did conquer Egypt back when Melchizedek was ruling, and then when he left, and then the swagger jacket, and then they start messing with the whole thing. So they come to Egypt and pillage Egypt, but that was like hundreds of years ago, probably at least 1,000 years ago. He's telling, like, he said, those people forgot we used to be their masters. But when we recollect that the first Ramesses of the prison house of Pharaohs had for his queen the beautiful Ephta, daughter of the last Phoenician Pharaoh, taking her captive. Pharaoh means kingdom. When he expelled the father from the throne of Memphis, we need not be surprised at the favor shown us by the noble queen Amense. For, fourth only and descended from the fair Phoenician, who was our own blood, she is our cousin by just hereditary lineage. Now he find out that Amense, the most, when you start, brothers, when you cannot understand the Messiah, man. You cannot. If you start understanding the Messiah, like that guy, every time I think I know the Messiah, I find out I didn't know him at all. This is a chess move the Messiah. This is a chess move the Messiah put on you right there. A chess move. The Messiah said, this he find out that Amense, Moses, quote unquote, Egyptian mother, is his cousin. They are related by blood. That means, I'm not gonna spoil that. You're gonna see what you're gonna see, brothers. When all those plagues were happening to Egypt, Moses' Egyptian mother didn't die, and she was the firstborn of Pharaoh. And then when Moses' mother went to Moses, said, Moses, my son, is this how you repay me? I'm your mother. I did this and so. And Moses said, well, are you serious right now? Look around you. Isn't all those firstborn of Egypt die? He said, yes. Said, okay, why are you doing alive? Why are you alive? And the mother said, she didn't even know who she was. Brothers, this is, the Messiah is so great. When you look at it, like, God damn, this man, he outsmarted you, man. The Egyptian mother, she didn't even understand because she thought, I don't want to spoil it. Moses like, okay, the curse said every single firstborn of all Egyptian brothers will be killed, but the mother did not die. And then Moses say, you protect me, right? You raised me when I was a kid and stuff, give me everything. So, right? Said the Most High spare you. And then the mother was like, she didn't understand. She said, oh, what? Say, it's when all those things were happening, tell me one thing that happened to you. She said, well, nothing happened to me. I was just fine. And Moses looking at her, okay, you don't get it? You really don't get it. All right, then. Well, if you don't get it here, I don't think you will get it in 2,000 years. All right, so let us go ahead, brothers. Okay, for fourth, because let's read this again, brothers. Okay, let's read this again. But when we collect that, the first are Moses, brothers. Okay, because the first let me see. Moses of the present house of Pharaoh had for his queen the beautiful Ephta, daughter of the last Phoenician Pharaoh. Taking her captive when he expelled the father from the throne of Memphis, he need not to be surprised at the favor shown us by the noble Queen Amensi. For fourth only in descent, fourth generation, when you say this, you say fourth only in generation and descent from fair Phoenician, who was our own blood. She is our cousin by just hereditary lineage. Okay, so now he find out that Queen Amensi is his cousin. When I had traversed the hall of the gods, we came to a lofty two-leaved gated of brass, which stood between two sculpted pupilla, a Libyan stone. Now listen to this, brothers. You can take this two ways. You can take this the way it is just written here. It is said, when I had traversed the hall of the gods, we came to a lofty, that's in a giant, to a lofty two-leaf gate of brass, two giant door, which stood between two sculpted pupilla of Libyan stone, two freaking giant heavy door, two gates, giant heavy brass, steel brass like door heavy. At a wave of the one of my escorter, they flew wide open and revealed their most magnificent and awe-inspired spectacle that it was possible to conceive the world could present. This is page 26, the second paragraph. This dude say when he was walking to get into the while he passed the Hall of Gods, he had an escorter with him, and they come upon two giant freaking big ass door, two freaking big giant tall gate, and the escorter have a wand in his hand, and he just waved the wand, and then the both door just open. You could have some brothers behind the door, some Egyptian slaves, one of our people with cord, waiting for the signal. When he signal it, they pull it. Or the one that Samuel also had, the one that all the prophet has one, brothers. The one that the beloved George Deborah, aka Big Barda, had. Big Barda had a one. Deborah had a one. When you look at her in DC comics, she had a one, and that one has a lot of power in it. This escorter had the one, he just wave it, and then the two doors just open. Like when you walk into Walmart and then the automatic door open because, I don't know, it can sense you. Okay? I don't know. Yeah, they say one is witchcraft. Our people had one back then. When they say one, brothers, they mean like a scepter-like thing. The king, for the king, they call them scepter. But for us, we call them one. You can actually find with the one. They're like a small stick. Not those Harry Potter one and stuff like that. No, they were like giant, big-ass stick. They like a little short stick. You know, the prophet used to fight and beat the crap out of people with this freaking one. So, you know, it was something that scholars carry around like, you know, one. Just like a lot of quote-unquote scholar around today carry iPad. Yeah, right. So, yeah, more like a shaft, more like a staff, but a short staff. It's just like a little staff, and the guy, you know, hit you in the head with it, you know. So, you know, this guy, it's amazing. They are walking towards this giant heavy door, and the guy just waved the wand, and then the door just opened, and then they just went right through it. But they don't tell us when he did this, brothers. Some people pull it or something. They just say he just waved it, and then somehow it's getting there. Okay, let me finish this. All right. It was a thing back then, brothers. Just like princesses, they had gazelle. Now, They got Chihuahua. They're not princess. Those whores on Instagrams that you're seeing, those celebrities, they got Chihuahuas and cats. It was like it's a time thing right now. Everybody got a little pet, but back then it was freaking gazelle. Gazelle, bro? I don't even know how much a gazelle costs now. I don't even think you can even buy a gazelle. And those things are freaking fast and they are very unpredictable. Which one of you saw that video of that bus driver driving and then a freaking deer come out of nowhere and then hit the window? Those things are unpredictable. All right. Let me read this again. When I traverse, when I had traversed the hall of the gods, we came to a lofty two-leaf gate of brass, which stood between two sculptured propyla of Libyan stone. At the wave of the one of my escorter, they flew wide open and revealed the most magnificent and awe-inspiring spectacle that it was possible to conceive the world could present. It felt like I read this before to you. I read this already, but it felt like did I read this to you guys? Anyway, man. But before was revealed an avenue then more than a mile in length to the eyes and leading straight to the city of the sun, which was temple rising beyond temple. There are so many temple out there, brothers. Gentiles cannot build these things, man. They cannot build temples upon temples like that. They can't. Shining like gold in the sunbeams, a mountain of architecture fashioned as it by hands of gods rather than men. That's how beautiful. That's how the slaves were good at building stuff. Our people are good at building stuff because they did build those things for Egypt. All right. And the mist stood elevate above all surrounding edifice, the great temple of Osiris itself, encircled by belts of 12 glittering obelisks, representing the 12 months, and the center of this wonderful girdle upon the apex of a pyramid rising within the walls of the temple, 200 feet high, blazed that sacred gold shield of the sun. So now he said when the door opened and when he walked in, he saw a mile ahead, temples on all sides, and he saw a giant pyramid, and top of that pyramid there is that symbol of the sun. Remember, brothers, it's just like when you start learning, it's like, man, those people they swagger jacked us everything. They swagger jack everything, brothers. Okay, so now when this dude waved the hand, the two door open, they are walking and stuff, and then the aisle is going all the way, and they got two canals of rivers, trees planting, and it got like 12 columns on each side, on 6 columns on that side, 6 columns on this side, representing the 12 months. And then he saw temples on left, temple on right. And when he saw forward, he saw the sunbeam gazing upon that giant, beautiful, colorized, tinted pyramid. The pyramid that he saw wasn't like some giant rundown. It was like a beautiful, well-painted pyramid. And the top of the pyramid, brothers, that's why they removed the top of the pyramid. On the top of the pyramid, he saw the symbol of Osiris, which means they call the Eye of Ra. When you read the book of the Throne of David, and it is said like in the Ark of the Covenant, when remember the Battle of Jericho? Anybody remember the Battle of Jericho? When the wall of Jericho got crashed. Anybody remember that? Before we go into this, boy, I'm taking way too long. Yes, the people that remember the Battle of Jericho, remember when they were coming with the ark, and then the king of Jericho, the leopard, okay, that super that super white king, Snoah's white king, when he looked upon the ark, and then he saw in the ark an eye, a flaming eye, brother, which is the symbol of the Most High, flaming eye, looking at him angry. And then when he looked at the eye, he saw, when he stepped back, and then he saw men, a giant men that his head, the wall of Jericho were taller than anything. The city of Jericho was so big. He saw men coming. This man is so tall. His head passed the cloud. And this man is walking with the Israelites with the freaking sword in his hand, brothers. And then when this man came in, this giant came in, he looked at them, there were a bunch of little ants. And then he pulled his sword. He aimed the sword at the wall, which was the archangel Michael, and shoot a beam out of the sword and break down the whole wall, brothers. Remember that eye, that flaming angry eye that was in the middle of the cherubim wings? That's the symbol of the Most High. And then those people, again, they like to swagger jack things and then, go over there and, oh, hey, this is Osiris, this is our God, and pyramid and stuff. We know in the Bible they explain all those things and all the books, they'll belong to the Most High. All the pyramids, all people built them. All those pyramids. It's just they like to swagger jack so much. And then they're like, oh, this is the devil. Don't look at it. Don't look at it. This is the devil. And people are like, Christian wanting, oh, a pyramid. Oh, Illuminati. Illuminati, man. The Illuminati is here. There's a pyramid. There's one eye there. There's one eye. Is the Illuminati. Don't look at it and stuff. But when you start writing those things, you're like, oh, man, you people, scumbag. And then when you call them out, they have no power. So when this guy was working, he saw on top of this pyramid, there's a smaller pyramid with the eye of Ra or eye of Osiris made entirely in gold. And the light beam shine upon it and stuff. Because the Most High was in the midst. The Most High his eyes was upon Egypt. Because the 12th shepherd was, ruling Egypt. The Most High was there. It make no sense, brothers and sisters, if our people were ruling Egypt and then the Most High put, like, when they were in Egypt, the Most High was there. He put Gentiles on top of them to rule them. No, the Most High put all our brothers were kings in Egypt. And Abraham showed them how to build all those things, and they showed the Egyptian how to build all those things. All those architectures of Egyptian, they are calling Egyptian architecture, they are our architectures. All their clothes and fashion is ours. They just manipulate them, swagger jack them, and give them another name and calling them, their stuff. Yeah. It's crazy. Is that what they call it? A pendulum? Not quite sure. Okay? All right. Blazing the sacred shield of the sun and so. But I will be brief, lest I overpower you with the gorgeousness and blind you with glory. Verily, the Egyptians seems resolved to rob the heavens of their celestial architecture instead of a rival heaven on earth. For those of you who know that riddle. But I will be brief, lest I overpowered you with gorgeousness and blind you with glory. Verily, truthfully, the Egyptians seem resolved to rob the heavens of their celestial architectures and set up a rival heaven on earth. He said, Mom, I don't want to be this guy, but if you look at the Egypt, it seems like the Egyptian trying to copy the heaven and make a better heaven here on earth than the heavens that is up there. That's how beautiful it is. But he has no idea who built this. He called those the Egyptians. Later, he will find out, who built those things. Okay? All right. The avenue now is describing more stuff, brothers. The avenue itself was paved with red colors, cyan stone, with the eyes of the cataracts, and on each side was a gigantic rows of gigantic row of Sphinxies repose on board elevate dromoi. I have no idea what dromoi is. Let me type dromoi in there, and people can dromoi. People can define this word for the people because I didn't even research this. Repose on board elevated dromoi. Some of these represented lions, leopards, and other beasts of the African and Nubian deserts. That doesn't mean it happened over there, okay? Okay, some of them represented lions, leopards, and other beasts of the Africans and the Nubian deserts. Some of them had the head of a ram with the body of a lion, and the four paws extending upon the terrace, the vast body resting upon the hand paws, all presenting aspect of majestic repose. There were 100 of these stone effigies in a double row, 20 feet apart, facing the avenue, and facing upon the passer by their stony eyes and immovable watchfulness. This avenue I walked up, preceded by the queen officer and escorted by retinue, which fell in behind me. So now he's describing the statues. When they say Sphinxies, the Sphinx, they didn't even have one Sphinx in Egypt, that giant mainline thing. No, the Sphinxes that he saw hundreds of them. He saw one that looked like lions, leopards, ram, goats, all kind of beasts. The beasts they were over there. Dromoi Greek is the word for a melody type of Greek music, huh? Dromos, an entrance, or no, this is better. Dromos, an entrance or a passageway to a building or temple. Dromoi may be the plural. Yes, all right. So it's an entrance to building way. That's what it means. To like a church like way. So having let me see. So he went to the temple. Now at this point, there met me a superbly comparison Arabian charger. Anybody know what a charger is? Can anybody put that in the comment? What he's talking about there? At this point, when he came out of the temple, at this point, there met me a superbly comparison Arabian charger, held by 2 pages, while a young noble bearing upon his breast the insignia of Prince of the Queen Palace. Thank you. Anybody riding a Dodge Charger? Anybody got a Charger in the house? Those things are freaking expensive, man. Hey, man, you better buy a freaking used Dodge Charger than buy a real freaking horse. Yeah, horses are expensive. You know, back then, asses cost more money than the freaking horses. Asses were Lamborghinis back then. YAHAWAH had to borrow an ass, man. He couldn't even afford an ass, man. He had to load somebody else's asses into the town. You know, all praises to the Most High. Freaking beast, man. I just saw somebody put a freaking gazelle cost $10,000. What the hell? I'm hoping my daughter never find out about that princess and gazelle nonsense. I mean, I ain't gonna buy a freaking animal for $10,000 here. What about those cats you have here? They were stray cats that somehow those kids keep playing out there and bring inside stray cats, and then they become house cats now. What about those damn cats? You'll keep them here. Hell with the freaking $10,000 gazelle. But anyway, I have now been 2 days in this palace, wherein is furnished me by the queen the attendance of slaves, and every luxury of Egypt is at my command. As I said to you, dear mother, let me read this with it. Listen, to brothers. This is really good right here. Listen to this. I have now been 2 days in this palace, wherein is furnished me by the queen the attendance of slaves. So this dude only been there for 2 days. The queen the queen gave him a palace to stay, plus the queen gave them slaves. Okay, and then we'll find out like who are those slaves. Okay, give them slaves. Okay, and every luxury of Egypt is at my command. So whatever the hell this dude wants, he can just, and then the slave will get it. You know, okay, you got one of the slaves say, you there. And brothers, he saw a group of slaves. He saw another group of slaves. He's like, who are those people? They look very familiar. In their faces, they look handsome. They look well-fed. They look good. They're just sad. Why are they? Who are those people? And then he saw the true slaves. You know, he can just call one of the slaves, hey, you there? Would you like to play some music? All right. So, listen, he said, slaves, and every luxury of Egypt is at my command. As I said to you, dear mother, in my first letter, I have yet only seen the queen of Egypt at a distance, and she was ascending the steps of her palace. But tomorrow I am formally to be presented to her, For on that day of the week alone, she receives princes and ambassadors. She had returned for 4 days before to Memphis from Philae with a great retinue, a bunch of people, of the lords and officers of Aram, and yesterday crossing the line in her badge of the state. Now, he telling the mother, Mom, like I said in the previous letter, yeah, I mean, yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna do anything. I'm still gonna be faithful to you, and I'm gonna be faithful to the land. The Egyptian, they got a little stuff, but they give me my own private slaves and money and all that. But mother, tomorrow I'm gonna meet with her. She said, but I'm not gonna betray anything and stuff. Okay, all right. She entered. Now, brothers, this is what the queen was doing over there. Amensi, okay, the queen of Egypt. Her name is Amensi. This is what Amensi was doing. She entered the sacred city, which is she visit of 3 days every month. So every 3 days in each month she visited this month. Every month and she entered the sacred city, which she visits for 3 days every month to perform in the great temple the sacred rites of her gorgeous religions. Wow, a woman that come every month and spend somewhere 3 days in a temple. Hopefully she doesn't wear a dress or red dress, drinking Kool-Aid, making spaghetti and pasta, and eating red apple and wearing red lipstick. And of this worship, I will soon write you more fully. It is an error, however, to suppose that this enlightened Egyptian worship the sun. It's just mind-blowing. Like, wow. Brethren, this is first-hand writing. This is first-hand, stuff like that. This is what it said. She entered this. Wait, we don't want to go back every 3 days a month thing. It is an error. Define the word error, brothers. Define this word. Let me enjoy some of that water. Boy, I've been talking for so long now. Yeah, that she visited this city every 3 days each month. She stayed for 3 days and she get the hell out of there. And then next month I'll be here. Good. An error is a mistake, but I need the proper definition of the word error. So, brothers, you have to understand this. When they're talking about that only one God, they're only talking about our God, our YAHAWAH. There is no God but Him. That's what they said. Okay, all right. We'll let the people. Let me drink a little bit of water. Error: the state or condition of being wrong and conduct a judgment. The state or condition of being wrong and conduct a judgment. That means your judgment is wrong. You judge, you bear false witness. That's you lie. This is a lie. This is what that dude said. He said, wait. He said, it is an error. It is a mistake. However, to suppose that this enlightening Egyptian worship the sun. He said this is a mistake to just, those people don't worship the sun at all. He said this is an error to worship the sun or any other objects as such or mere matter. Their fundamental doctrine is the unity of the unity of the deity whose attributes are represented under positive and material forms. The common people perhaps never go beyond these forms, and their minds never are admitted to a knowledge of the truth of the mysteries. But the priests and the high in rank Look upon the sun and moon and animals and the fecund night only as so many brothers. Listen, this is what the guy, more swagger jacking. He just said it is a mistake to think those Egyptians worship the sun. All those gods they have around, they saw them as soldiers to a greater God, the only one God. The priests, they look upon the moon, just like we now know the moon is an angel, a meteor. The sun, Oriel, is an angel. The wind is an angel, Rahaviel. All those things are here to serve the Most High God himself. So he said it's a mistake because that's why I get jacked everything that we have. But they do it. This is what the Most High do not like. The Most High do not like when you take his stuff and then you come to him in your own term. The Most High doesn't like when you take his stuff, you take his commitments. The Egyptians had the 10 commitments too, but they put their stuff they want in it. For instance, if there's certain things that they want to commit, they said they put it in there. They took all the Most High attribute and then they give it to their own God. So the same way that we were worshiping back then, we taught those people how to properly worship the Most High. The Most High is the highest. He's the most high, the highest one. Under him, there are so many other things. Brothers, this is how the Most High operate. We said this before. If you are here, you walking down the street, brothers, and then you get robbed. Somebody pull a gun on you, and then that person took your wallet. You're not going to call, quote unquote, the president. You're not going to call the president because the president, wait a minute, president's too busy. There are police officers here. You can go to the police officers and report the crime. And those police officers will investigate and on the behalf of all the structures of government, and then they will bring you, if they caught the thief, which the angels always do, and then they will bring it to you. When there's something going on, Moses used to call upon the Most High. The Most High explains, I got angels all over. Call upon them, they will help you in my name. We have angels all over there, brothers. Some of us are driving the ley lines or operating by the grandmothers, according to certain book. Okay? So all of those things, the Most High name is like a command. When you say the Most High name, it's like a command you give them, and then they will do things. But those guys, they took everything that they created their own Most High. They like to do this, brothers, just like they do now as we speak, brothers. They take everything in the Bible, everything they have, they create their own Cesare Borgia. They create their own God. They say this God love everybody. This God will take you in no matter what you do. This God just said you sorry, then you good to go. Just say I believe in Jesus, then you good to go. They like to copycats, brother. That's why you have to be very careful. Everything that those people do, they copy it from us. We didn't copy anything from them. They copied it from us. And then now you say, well, okay, wait a minute. If those people, wait a minute. If they are copying our stuff, that means we are the salt of the earth, the creme de la creme. We need to go back to our God like we are doing now. And then anybody that want to learn from our Father will come to us, unto us, cleave unto us, so they can cling unto the Father. That's what this dudes is like. Whoa, the way those people are doing things. I thought they were worshiping a bunch of gods, but they got one top God too. They deal with all sort of gods, they call them, but they got that one top God that can kill all the other God. But they keep the swagger job the Most High. That's what they are doing. Okay, is regarded as one of the grandest agents, which is what you see. It says here, the sun believed to possess much of the divine influence. It is vivified power and its various other effects. It is regarded as the grandest agent of the one deity. The sun is regarded as the greatest agent of the one deity, that one God. The Egyptians saw the sun. He was like Michael to them. But those guys like to do this. They like to swagger jack thing and then come up over there and say, we come with this. And then when they call upon that thing don't want to help them, like they are doing right now. Although I have not seen to speak with her, he's talking about the queen, the august lady who reigns over Egypt. I have been visited by her son, the Lord Prince Ramesses. Okay? I have already written of him. He is in his 34th year, and the noblest appearing man my eyes ever beheld. Upon his brow the gods have set the seal and impress of command. I will narrate the manner of our first intercourse. When they say intercourse, brothers, they mean our first, verbal talking. Okay, now. Brothers telling you the truth. I don't know. I tell you the full truth. I don't know who this Ramesses dude is. Some brothers say he's Moses. I don't know who Ramesses is. I haven't finished the book. I don't know exactly who Ramesses is. It could be Ramses, but we will see who this Ramesses is. Okay. So now he's describing the stuff that he's seeing. Okay, communication, intercourse means communication, verbal intercourse. That's what I mean, communication. My window was not only command of view of these. Listen. Oh boy. I was standing by the window of the stately apartment, which overlooks one of the squares of the city. Interesting in watching the toys of several hundred men, coarsely attired in blue aprons or loin clothes and gray breeches reaching only to the knee. The upper part of the bodies were naked. So now he said, Mom, when I was inside of my room, I look upon, but I saw a bunch of hundreds of men walking, but those men, they have blue apron in front of the pants. Breeches mean pants, in front of the pantalon, like their jeans, so to speak. But they had no shirts. They were bare. They didn't have those shirts on, and and he said, upper part, their bodies being naked, so they have no shirts. Who were at work constructing a wall which was to enclose a new lake before the temple of Apis in the midst of the square for one of his city of alternate lakes, all the great beauty and adorned with trees, temple squares and palaces and stuff. That means a bunch of guys, those people that he saw, they were the one building those things. Thank you, beloved sister April. Okay, thank you. Brethren, it is said here, those guys were the one building the stuff. And then you thought like those Egyptians you see walking proudly wearing nice dress, they are the one who build it. On, which is the city, On is a city of alternate lakes, all of great beauty and adorned with trees, temples, squares, and palaces, interspersed with dromos of sphinxes connecting court after court through lofty pylons, while obelisk statues and fountains fill up the interspace. So he said, On, which is the capital of Egypt, is like downtown. So many temples, road and interstates connected, people walking and stuff. But out of all those things, he's looking out there. There's a group of people walking there. Those people look strange and they are walking. It's just, he's like, but my window not only come in a view of these laborers with the heavy burden of bricks borne on their shoulders to the top of the wall they were building, but also beyond the wall of distant temples and glimpse of the yellow expanse of the desert. So now he's like, Mom, I see those guys, they're working so hard. Why? They got heavy burden, they are pulling big rocks and stuff. Why they are working so hard? He's just like, The scene is so beautiful, but something is kind of like kill the vibe. There's a group of people there wearing blue apron in front of their pants, and they are shirtless, and they are working out there, heavy burden and stuff. Okay. So now he's describing to his mother what was going on around, stuff like that. He saw a bunch of people, it was downtown New York. That's him describing downtown New York. This caravan the port of On, 6 miles below of the night. The ship came in and stuff like that, laden with treasures of the caravan to all part of the unknown earth. That means all around the globe, brothers, they used to come in our land to take things, to do commerce. Well, we don't know who those people are. We're going to reading to see who are those people that were putting heavy burden to them. Who are those people that were beating and make them build stuff? Again, my eyes rested upon the laborers, seeing that they were sorely pressed by cruel taskmasters, who with long rods urged them to do their ceaseless toil. I perceived then that they were men with salient features, eagle nose, long black beards, and narrow but fine eyes, which seems to have a strange expression of tears in them. There were among them noble and manly men, handsome youth, though pale with toil and bit from an aged man. I marvel to see so fine of race thus in bondage as slaves under taskmasters, for in the days of the Phoenician Pharaoh, there were no such born men in the land of Egypt. From the remarkable likeness to some native of Mesopotamia I had seen in Tyre, I judged that there must be captive of that ancient Orient people taken in wars Amunoth. He said, Mom, the city is so beautiful. Everything is going well, but I cannot get my eye. I can't take my mind off those group of people over there. They look so well, but they don't look like slaves. They look like the Syrians. They got long black beard. They got when they say eagle nose or flat nose and stuff, I don't know. They got nose. They look good people. They don't look like slave. They're not slave. Why those taskmasters are beating those people with giant rods? Okay, they are beating them. They'll keep beating them to perform this heavy burden. Who are those people? Why are they doing this to them? He said, well, why? Who are those people? But they look like Syrians. We know in those books they refer to Abraham as a Syrian. Assyria, Abbasis, they're all Syrian. Those are all names. Melchizedek was referred as a Syrian. Okay, this is just like a citizenship. Like, hey, brother Larry is an American and stuff, but he's not. By blood, he's an Israelite and stuff like that. So it's like, who those people? They are lifting huge rocks. And then he said, I saw a boy, a youth looking at me. He was crying, and then they were beating him. He doesn't look like a slave. Those people must be captive. And he says something, brothers. He said, in the day of the Phoenician and the Egypt, there weren't no slaves. You only have slaves, brothers, sisters, when you go fight another person. And if you want, you can take somebody you brought that person to you. That person become your slave, brothers, as like that person become a worker, an employee. If any of you are working here, you're an employee. If any of you got a mortgage, you are a slave. Any of you have to pay your phone bill, you are a slave for the rest of your life. You have to, anything that you have to pay, brothers, you owe whoever. A slave means somebody that owe money. That is why the Most High give us this earth and everything in there with nothing in it, so you are not a slave. But he feel for those people, brothers. He look at those people like, why they are doing that? In the time of the Phoenician, there weren't no slave there. Who are those people? What's going on here? A servant. That is why in the Bible, brothers, they say if you own a slave, you can. That doesn't mean slavery, brothers. What we went through, the 400 years that we went through, that wasn't that wasn't servant work, brothers. That was hardcore bondage, brethren. That was the worst form of slavery that we went through, brothers. Back then, a slave means somebody that owe you money. That person owe you $50,000, and then that person choose to work for you for 5 years, each year's for $10,000 for free. Every year, that person do all the work around your house, cook your food, and then painted the house and repair everything for 5 years. After 5 years, we shake hand. That person don't owe you anything. We good. That person good. That person can go. But some of that person, if you treat that person so well, that person don't want to leave, man. That person from, let's say, if that person from another country, they're treating that person horrible over there. Over here, he had a better life. He doesn't want to leave. Now you have to bore a hole and he's here and keep that person forever. Sometimes your children marry that person. That person's children marry you. They blended with you. But what we went under wasn't nothing like this. Let's move, brothers. Now, while he was watching those people going under that heavy burden, while I was regarding them, and especially an interesting youth whose dark eyes, as he staggered under a heavy burden of bricks, were turned up to me as he seeking sympathy. Acharis enter and say, "My lord Sesostris, the mighty prince Ramesses is a lightning from his chariot upon the step of your palace." So he said, brothers, while he was watching those people, he felt something like, wow, what's going on? And he saw a kid with a giant thing of bricks on the back of him, breaking his back. He's pulling this giant, heavy bricks, and then the kid look at him like, please help us. He look at him, please help us. And then like he was looking at that king, that kid, and somebody enter the room and say, Prince Sesostris, Ramesses is coming and see you. And then he startled, and then he left. So upon hearing this, upon hearing this news, I hastened to a portico, wondering if I were to be honored with a personal visit from the Lord of Egypt. Before the queen mother should receive me and stay. And here they don't put before. Back then they didn't use the word before. They use E-R-E. Eerie or area or something like that. I don't like to say Egypt, air, the queen mother, people will get confused, but I just use the word before. Okay, so before the queen mother should receive me and stay. Upon reaching the circular peristyle hall, which the portico, the ideal of my palace, opened the girdle doors, there stood before me the prince of Egypt. There stood before me the prince of Egypt. I have already described his noble presence and personal appearance. Upon seeing me, he advanced, waving his attendants to withdraw. Okay? And with mingled dignity and sweetness at once won my heart and said, I welcome you, noble prince of Tyre, to Egypt. I have been engaged in reviewing the armies of the Niles a day's march hence, and heard but yesterday of your arrival. I hail you not as a stranger, but as a cousin, dear Sesostris, for we are not allied by blood. So this prince of Egypt come up. He says, Sesostris, my Negro, what's up with you, man? Hey, I was over there, and the reason why I didn't come here to attend you, I was taking a loot from the whole army. So welcome to Egypt, man. I'm not gonna, receive you as a stranger. I'm receiving you as a cousin. We are not related by blood. You, my lord prince, Sesostris said, are descended from 2 lines of kings. This is very important because to Sesostris, he's talking to this dude because he doesn't know the backstory of this dude. Okay, now we don't know who this guy is. I have no idea who Ramesses is. You, my lord prince, I said, are descended from 2 lines of kings, the Syrian and the Theban. I am from but one, but by that one we are indeed of the same blood. But what is a prince of Tyre compared with the heir of the throne of Egypt? So he said, it is true what you said. But remember, you come from two bloodlines. The bloodline of the Syrian, which means the Abrahamic, and the bloodline of Theban, which possibly the Hamites. He said, me, myself, I'm from but one. He was from one of this bloodline. Either he was from the Abraham bloodline or the Hamitic bloodline, because the Phoenician, they were known as Hamitic people, but we don't know, brothers. I cannot make any exception, So yeah, he's in the back then they were in the mix, okay, but he doesn't know who this Ramesses guy true background is, okay. So we are to be friends and equals, he said, smiling. As he pressed my hands, I accept his pledge of friendship with grateful emotion, my dear mother. And from that moment, we became as brothers. He, the elder, I, the younger, and looking up to him with admiration and pride, as henceforth my model of what a prince should be. The moment he met Ramesses, they shook hands, they become brothers. Just like when Abbasis met Jonathan, the moment they met Jonathan, he shake Jonathan's hand, they become brothers. The moment he met David, they become brothers. They all become brothers. Why? Because they were brothers. He shake hands, he say, you're my brother. You're my elder brother. I'm the younger brother. He remained with me 3 hours. We discussed of you, of Tyre, of the beautiful city of Damascus, my swords of Damascene still attracting his notice, for he is a famous soldier. Ramesses is a famous Ramesses is kicking ass and taking name all the time, and leading to mention to this city. We walk also of Egypt and her glory and her power, and the queen is her mother, and the manner, religion, and policy of the kingdom. But my dear mother, I will here close this letter, and then another relate to you what passed out our interview and the most interesting portion of his conversation. Your devoted son, Sesostris. Letter 2 is done. Now, for those of you, we read letter 3 on the other channels. We read letter 3. You can go find letter 3 on the other channel. So letter 2 is done here. In letter 3, just a little recap. We find out Leviticus 19:27 about mother beard. Okay, that's not what that means. The Egyptians, you were aware, always shave their head and beard closely, save when mourning. So the Egyptians used to do that when they are grieving somebody. They used to pluck their beard. For those of you, anybody familiar with that one, with that lesson, letter 3? We have it, the Pillars of Fire, letter 3 on the other channels. We already went into that. Yeah, the Egyptians, when they are mourning, brothers, they will pull their beard, they will pull their head for the people. That's why the Most High put the law in there and said, don't do that. That has nothing with you shaving your beard, shaving your hairs, or anything like that for any other reason. As long as you don't do it for the dead, the Egyptians do this for the dead. They will go to the cemetery and say, I'm going to shave my head, for the dead. By the time my hair grow, the dead will rise up. They used to be crap like that. So our people used to do this. The Most High said, no, don't do this. As long as you shave your beard for any other reason than for the dead, you're good. That's what it says here. So for those of you who are yes, for those of you who know that we can let me see. The 4th letter. Did I read the 4th letter yet? All right, let me just okay, letter 4. Oh boy, no. Let us continue because we didn't finish letter 4. Okay. Okay. I hope you are home. Okay. All right. So you guys want me to keep on trucking on letter 3 to finish letter 3 all the way? No. I can't do this. No, I can't do this. Okay, let me see. All right, hang on. No. We have to. I think we have to go over letter 3 so that people will understand, because in letter 3 they reveal some things. In letter 3, brothers, if you're familiar, Eliezer, anybody know who Eliezer was? Eliezer was Abraham's servant. Eliezer was just Abraham's servant. Abraham treat Eliezer as a son. Abraham treat Eliezer as a son. Abraham did not have any son until Abraham was so old. Eliezer was the CEO of Abraham Enterprise. Abraham was just the owner. Eliezer was the one who won everything that Abraham ever had. Abraham never really did anything. Remember, Eliezer fought with Abraham against the princes when they captured Lot. Eliezer and Abraham and I believe 400 men, they went over there, they kick ass and take names and took all they had and then bring them back. That's when Shem came in, aka Melchizedek, and then passed the scepter to Abraham. And Melchizedek said, I'm done. My era is done. This is your era, just begin. And Abraham took the scepter from Melchizedek and then established the Abrahamic thing. And then Abraham is done. David took it. Now we have the house of David, which is YAHAWAH is under that. Yeah. Eliezer, brothers, come back to Egypt. They build Eliezer a freaking museum. Eliezer come back to his country with more wealth than the king that was in that country. They buried Eliezer there in that tomb. We went to that lesson. It say Eliezer of Damascus, the steward of Abraham, prince beloved of the gods. Yeah. Abraham actually called Eliezer his son. We never treat the people as slave, brothers, even though they were our slave. But we never did this. Okay? So we went into this. Okay. Okay. All right, we're gonna have to tomorrow. We will go to letter 3, part 2. Okay, let us just hang out a little. So we're going to reflect on what we learned today about Egypt and about those people. Yeah, so this is we stop at letter 2 and then we're in the middle of letter 3. For those of you who wants to know what happened in letter 3, how did Ramesses dress? Go watch there's on my other channels. It's called The Pillar of Fire, letter 3. Alone in This Walk, letter 3. Go watch it, brothers. And you can where's up? There we go. Page 37. Letter 3. You can watch it. Okay, tomorrow we'll do part 2 of letter 3. Certain things that revealed in this chapter, we need to talk about it, brothers. Okay, now what do we learn today, brothers? We learned that it's all about swagger jacking. It's all about imitating the God's people. It's all about stealing their identity and claiming that you are them and claiming their God is yours, as if our God is stupid. It doesn't know who you are and definitely doesn't know who we are. Okay, it's all about me staying behind the window, staying behind the curtain, watching, absorbing, stealing, and then later on come back and say, hey, I come up with this, hey, I come up with that, and all this nonsense. It's all about swagger jacking. We know for a fact those people copy everything that we had because Abraham taught them. Who taught Abraham? Enoch, through the books. Who taught Enoch? The angels, the Most High. Adam and other books that I read, brothers, in the Bible, they referred Adam as Lord of all things. Anybody know that verse? I believe it's in the book of I forgot the book called Adam, the Lord of all things. That means Adam named everything. Adam knew everything. He knew Adam didn't have to write anything down. He had a giant freaking computer embedded in his head. Adam pretty much knew everything. So does Eve. Okay? And this book that we were in the Bible, that's what the Bible literally say when Adam named everything. You don't name something when you don't know that thing. The most I have to tell you this thing. The most I will give you the characteristics and then you choose a name. Okay? Yeah. So we learn, brethren, it's in the book of Adam and Eve where the Most High say, no, I think there is a verse in the Bible that called Adam Lord of all things. Yeah, I believe there's a verse there that called Adam Lord of all things. I think in the book of Kings. Anybody can do a quick little research. We can bring that in. So now, because of that, remember, everything we have those people copy it. All the civilization, brothers, come from us. We rule everybody. They don't want to say this. They don't want to say the children of God rule the entire earth. For millennia, brothers, for thousands of years, we rules. Even way before this earth is very old. Some say 6,000 years, 6,000 of the Most High years, which is infinite. Okay, so now we understand that the Egyptian, they were worshiping gods, but they were like swagger jacking our stuff. They were worshiping the Most High because we showed them how to worship the Most High until the other group of Egyptians came in and swagger jack everything and then put the unrighteous God on top of us. And then now we ended up worshiping and their fake God. Second Esdras 6:54. And after these, Adam also, whom thou madest Lord, all thy creatures, of him come were all, and the people also thou hast chosen. Yes. And after thou, Adam also, whom thou madest, madest Lord of all these creatures. Yes, Adam was Lord over all those creatures. Thank you, beloved sister Janet Alexander. The beloved brother Big Judah just posted a video, brothers. I don't know how old is the earth is. I don't know, brothers. I don't know how old is the earth. Okay? All I know, there are certain things that they carbon dated. They are older than the earth. And they say those things came from the sky. It is said, one of the books that I was reading, it is said they took a piece of one of the pyramid over there in the Holy Land. They dated this piece of that thing, and then it goes hundreds of billion. This thing is older than the earth. How? They say, oh, okay, well, it's a mistake, because this thing come from the because the Most High created the heaven and the earth. He created the heaven first. The beloved brother Sabah have a wonderful, I love this lesson in there, where he was talking about the war that was happening before all the earth created, before everything. There was war going on. Beautiful. It's just like a freaking movie, man. The brother was good. I never asked the brother about those books because I'm always like learning other things. They are so, carbon dating my ass, Yeah, they always come up with some carbon dating things and stuff. We really don't know how old is the earth. Some people say, 6,000 years. 6,000 years? Pre-Abraham, brothers, you have to, 6,000 of your years of my or the Most High years. We know one day, brothers, for the Most High, to us is 1,000 days, is 1,000 years. 1,000 years of the Most High is somewhere around 365 million years for us. 6,000 years is like 365 sextillion years. That's the highest number you can ever go. That means like the earth is like, what the hell? You cannot know. Yeah, the book say it was 5,000. Yeah, the Most High said he gave in the book of Adam and Eve, the Most High told Adam he gave him 5,500 years, half of a day, like 6 days and a half, almost 6 days. He gave Adam 6 days for Adam to repent for. Brothers, when the Most High is so funny, man. The Most High treat Adam like a teenager, Adam and Eve like teenager that didn't behave. He said, get the hell out of my house. Come back here after sick. Go in the street. You think you tough? You think you tough? Get the hell out. You live under my rule or you follow my rule. The Most High tell Adam and Eve, get the hell out of my house. You want a party, smoking pot, inviting demons in my house? Get the hell out. Here's a few bucks and some stuff. I'm not that cruel. Here's some stuff to get thing going. Now get out there in the street. Don't come back here until after 5 days and a half. Come back there. You're in punishment. Come back. Go live out there in the street for 5 days. The Most High don't take crap from people, man. And Adam keep coming, Most High, let me in, let me in. The Most High, get the... Okay, you know what? He took 2 cherubim, and then he put the cherubim there. One of the cherubim drew his sword, and he saw Adam coming. Adam was crying, coming to him. The cherubim was under order to kill whoever is coming in the garden, but the cherubim, the angel, knew he has to kill Satan, because Satan, brothers, it's so funny. This story is so funny. The Most High has a community, a beautiful community, right? Everybody's supposed to follow the rule when you live in the community. Even Satan wasn't there being beautiful. And then they did something. They went, so the Most High said, get that. You, Satan, and all your scumbag friends, take Adam and Eve. Get the hell out. You guys want to use Satan. You're going to get the worst of it. And then the Most High kicked them out. And then Satan, Satan in his cronies always try to get back to the garden. And they always get killed. Satan tried to kill Adam because Satan turned into a grotesque monster. Satan transformed into a giant snake and threw himself at Adam, tried to choke Adam and say, you son of a bitch, you did this to me. I was so beautiful. Now look at me. I'm so ugly. You did this. And Adam was screaming. So the Most High sent the angels, grabbed Satan, threw Satan away. So Adam, brothers, Adam didn't even live 5,500 years. Adam died 900 and something. Listen, this is how it is. In the most time, brothers, Adam ate this fruit, quote unquote. He died. He ate this fruit 9 a.m. in the morning. He died 3 p.m. in the afternoon. It was a poison. Him and Eve. Eve lived a little bit older, according to other books. Tough love, man. The Most High knew for a fact he would not live 5 days. The Most High knew he was poisoned. What he ate was a poison to him. Adam came out, he died in the street. Adam wanted to be tough. Him and Eve, they went in the street, they died in the street. They got shot, they killed them in the street. Now, they didn't even last a day in the street. They went in the street couple hours. Adam started dealing, cutting corners, tried to come back. They shot him, they killed him. So does Eve. But their children still living. I am Adam, you are Adam, she is Eve, we are Eve. We're still going into that punishment until it finish up. But this punishment got steps and levels. The Messiah don't play, man. And the Messiah feel for Adam, man. He cried with Adam, man. He cried with Adam. He say, Adam, I'm sorry, my son, but I will forgive. The Messiah tell Adam, my son, I will forgive you, but you have to go to that 5,500 years. Man, the Most High don't take Haitian. The Most High say, listen, Adam, you already forgiven because I read your heart. You truly are sorry, but my son, you have to go through this punishment so you would never do this again. Adam said, Most High, I will never do this. Please, the street is hard out there, man. Even now, we have to do a bunch of things because Adam keep telling the Most High, I see some animals out there. They don't like me because, I got them kicked out of heaven too. Some of the dragon, the dinosaur, when they saw Adam, they tried to get at Adam too because they could talk. They could talk back then. They keep telling Adam, what the hell, Adam? Man, I was living. Your fault. You know better. You name us. You did this. You did that. Everybody was after Adam and Eve, man. All Adam wanted is to return to the garden. But the Most High said, listen, Adam, you are forgiven, but you cannot get in. You have to go to the punishment. And he did. Yeah, the Most High was very sorrowful, man. The Most High mourned Adam, man. Some of the stuff, look, there is a passage in the Bible where the Most High chastised us. And it was a conversation into a wife and a husband. And the Most High tell the wife, did I have to do this? Did I have to raise my hand on you to show you love? Is that how you know love? Did it have to come like this? Did I have to punch you, give you a black eye? They had to kick you all over and beat you like I was doing kung fu? Did I have to beat you and abuse you so you can learn not to do this again? Why are you acting like this? The Most High was talking to Israel like our own daughter, because Israel is a massive whore. We are the biggest whore of this planet, our people. We'll whore ourselves and or any other gods. We just whore ourselves. We won't ask any question. We were so used, nobody wanted us. When Israel want to worship other gods, they're like, that young sweet virgin. You were a young sweet virgin. Right now, it's quite the opposite. Yeah, the Most High was telling Israel, like, did I have to do this to you? Did I have to put my hand and raise my hand on you? That was like a pimp talking to that hoe, like, babe, did I have to keep my pimping strong and teach you some lesson because you don't listen. When I give you a comment, you don't listen. Israel do that a lot. Israel take the Most High stuff. Israel take the Most High feast day, and then they commit stuff with it. So they would say, well, it is saying in the feast day. They will write their own laws and say, the Most High say so. The Most High write this. The Pharisees. That's why when the Pharisees, YAHAWAH had a big beef with the Pharisees and the scribes. Scribes are people that written things. So they were reading a bunch of things that wasn't in the book of the true book of law. They were making the people sinning. If they want the women, they write things in there. Say, okay, well, yeah, they say you have to divorce your husband and stuff. Is your husband do this? And then the women do it. And when they marry a woman and they sense like the woman want to divorce them, they say, no, if you divorce me, the Lord don't like that. Don't divorce me. If you divorce me, you're going to go to hell. Do you want to go to hell? No. Oh, but then don't divorce me. That's what those guys used to do. They never explained anything to the people. They just told them. The same thing as today, brethren. It was horrible. Yeah. I believe Matthew chapter 28 deal with the whole thing. YAHAWAH call those things. Brothers, certain other books, I read them, but I don't bring them to you. YAHAWAH was like, when you look at it, you say, man, YAHAWAH was a jerk to those guys, man. YAHAWAH make fun of them all the time. YAHAWAH would come to them and then tell them things and then laugh at them and mock them. In public, YAHAWAH was that dude who come in public and then he keeps saying good things and then he wait one of the scumbag open their mouth and then YAHAWAH give them the 15 seconds of fame and then destroy them. The whole crowd start laughing at those dudes and pointing fingers. Man, you scumbags. And get out of here. You don't know what you're talking. Let that guy talk. YAHAWAH used to do this. He used to lie. If you read the Apocalypse, I believe the Apocalypse of Judas or the Gospel of Judas, Judas Iscariot, YAHAWAH mocked people all the time, man. Like, man, YAHAWAH was a big jerk to those guys. He humiliated them, man. YAHAWAH do this. That's why they keep taking. Brothers, when you listen to YAHAWAH in the Bible, he said nothing but positive. He never really say anything negative. But when you read the other book, you see, man, YAHAWAH was the greatest burner. He delivered the greatest burns. YAHAWAH will ask those guys a question. Brothers, technically, YAHAWAH will give those guys a whoop and then they hang themselves with it. They will ask, YAHAWAH will say, okay, sometime YAHAWAH say, who had the first sin, let who without no sin cast the first stone. And then the scumbag thought like YAHAWAH was talking about throwing actual rocks. And then they were like, oh, I am the purest Negro around. And they will come over and start throwing rocks at that woman because she was quote unquote a poor woman, aka and keeper woman, aka a professional baker. All right. So listen, brothers, in all those books, that you read, the Most High always have compassion upon poor women and keeper and professional baker. Why? Because in spiritually speaking, brothers, We are poor women, if you catch my drift, and we are professional bakers. Oh, Israel will give anybody that cookie, man. Israel will sell that cookie. They not even sell. You give that Israel will give that muffin everywhere. That's what we are. That's what we do. Till this day, you see brothers and sisters still going to the church. Oh, YAHAWAH used to mock those guys, idolatrous. That's brothers. When the Messiah say adultery, he's not talking about you going out there doing something behind your wife or your wife do something about it. Yes, but he's talking about spiritual. That's the highest form of sin, brothers. Spiritual adultery. You going behind the Messiah back. Yeah, spiritual idolaters, brothers. Listen, some of us, all of us here understand this, but most people, brothers, they don't know. They spiritual. I myself, I will never cheat on my husband. But I was a Protestant. I'm not a Protestant anymore. Right now, I'm a Jehovah's Witness. I'm not a Jehovah's Witness anymore. I am a Baptist. I will never cheat on my husband. What the hell you doing? You think it's this? You think this is about you? So you spiritually and the spiritual realm is the biggest whore. I'm looking for religion. So you testing religion. Oh, you go to Islam. Islam is not working. Oh, you go to this. Brothers, in the spiritual realm, it's a lot. That's why I told my brothers, my sisters, every day, brothers, meditate. When I say meditate, don't like, I'm going to draw this energy out of my throat, the chakra, and put it out of, and push it in my belly, and strengthen it and push it out of my butt. I'm not talking about that, brothers. I'm talking about thinking. What did I do back when I was in the church? I was in the choir. I got to repent from that. Most High forgive me. I remember that day I was in the choir. I was so happy I was singing for Jesus. Forgive me for taking the unholy baptism from those pastors. Meditate on all those things that you did, brothers. All those spiritual stuff that you did. Meditate on the things that you say to your husband. You shouldn't say it. Meditate on the things that you say to your wife. You shouldn't say it. Your children. Meditate on the stuff that you did, the injustice that you did, people. Things that we cannot talk about here, brothers. Those are meditation. Meditation has nothing to do. I'm about to reach an enlightened form. I can feel the light in my throat chakra and my head chakra. All of those garbage. If this is not uncovered, you're not meditating on what you did when you were in the freaking church. Some of you were born in the church, brothers. Some of you spent your entire years in the church and the Most High pulled you out and you're filthy. You have to keep repenting. Brothers, meditate on the most recent thing that you did when you were in the world. This recent thing will bring you closer. And then you will remember things that you did when you were 2 years old. You will remember things that you did when you were 1 year old. Meditate on that, brothers. Yeah. Scumbag sitting there. You got to sit into an egg position. Breathe. Feel the universe inside of your belly. Yeah, I can feel it pushing it out. But if I'm not in the bathroom, I can push it out, brother. Push all the head out. And that brother drop a huge juice inside of the place. And then now you're telling this brother, oh, you shouldn't do this. And so I'm talking about the universe. You have to push the universe out. Yeah, I push it out. This has nothing to do with this garbage. It has everything to meditate on what you did. Brothers, wives, sisters were out there with that Bible in their hand, knocking on doors. Can I tell you about the Lord Jesus Christ? My church is over there. Can you come to my church? Were you one of those people? Were you one of those scumbag Jehovah's Witness working out there, whoring yourself for this God, and then you looking for more prostitute to come and then put in your in that house? Meditate on that. You have to meditate, brothers. You have to meditate on the horrible things that you did. To us, brothers, they don't seem horrible. Hey, man, I repent from this. I'm not in this life. Nope, you did things. You have to pay for the sin that you did. Meditate on your mother and father. He was a pastor. Father, forgive me for what my father did. He was a pastor. He did a lot. Every Sunday you go to church, you open the church. Think about how many times you give Jesus the glory. How many times, and that goes the same way for those scumbag out there giving the Illuminati credit, or the elite are doing this. So if somebody could help us, brothers, we're about to close in 1 minute, and then we'll go, straight to Big Judah. Somebody, oh, you know what? You don't have to do it. I already got it here. A sister sent me this today. The sister was meditating. That's what I'm talking about. The sister was meditating and studying. The sister stumbled upon the sealed book of Mormon, chapter 70, verse 39 says this. Okay. Oh boy, I got like so many. Give me a second. Seal. Oops. Give me a second. The sister stumbled upon this, okay? Seal Book of Mormon, chapter 70, verse 39 says, but those things which shall come to pass in the opening of the 5th and the 6th of the 7th seal. That means on the last day. And those things shall have to pass by nature or by the hand of the Lord. Men have no power to cause or prohibit these things from occurring unto them. The Sealed Book of Mormon, chapter 70, verse 39. For all of you that keep taking the glory from the Most High, keep saying, oh, the elite are doing this. This is doing that. That was fake. That was plain. That was that. No, the Most High is doing this. The Book of Mormon told you this. If you need a scripture, there it goes right there. I don't want anytime people keep telling you, oh, hey, this is that and this. Oh, this is this and this is that. Tell them the Book of Mormon said those, and the 5th, 6th, 7th sealed is open. The Most High is the nature. Brothers, the Holy Spirit and the Most High is doing this. Then you're done. Meditate on this. Meditate on all those times you were thinking all the Illuminati have the power and they can do they are doing everything. Repent from this. Meditate on that. Yeah, who is the man comparing to the Most High, man? Meditate on all those things, brother. Meditate simply means deep thinking, sitting there thinking, say, man, I did a lot, man. I remember going to church. Some of us here, brothers, we never been to church. Did you know some of our people never been to any church? They never had any religions. Those are the people, brothers. They always know the Most High, like my grandmother. Like I told you, my grandmother was a voodoo priestess. And what she told me, my grandmother never set her feet into the church. She said that's how all her family, her father taught her that. Never set your feet inside of the church. The father taught her how to worship, to praise the Most High in her own way. Oh, sister, I'm not going to upload up tonight, beloved sister. I'm waiting. Again, I don't know. I'm waiting on the Holy Spirit because my channel is down until the 9th. Yes, my grandmother, she never, ever, all her family before there, my mother was the one who stepped foot inside of the church. My grandmother, she never did this. And guess what? My grandmother never went to school. She didn't know how to read what we are reading, but she could read any other texts, weird images, she can read them. She was super smart. My grandmother, brothers, never set her feet in churches and school. That's why I praise the Most High. I tell the Most High, thank you for taking her and put her in the Abraham bosom. She never did submit, just like the queen, the beloved queen Anakaona, the beloved brother Atre. All our ancestors, brothers, they never did submit to this. Their children did, because they know the power of the Most High. That's why they have to take the kids young and educated them and send them to school. Teach them to, hey, be free, man. Do whatever you want. Don't leave. Yo, your life is yours. Amen. Your oven is yours. Bake all kind of cookie. Give it to anybody. They teach the women to be free, sexual freedom. Go out there, have sex with everybody. It's a freedom because they know you suffer from PTSD, you are rebellious. They told the men the same thing. Free, go out there and do stuff. My grandmother never did this. They used to call her dumb. When my grandmother is talking about things that are like hundreds of years, thousands of years old, they ask her, how do you know those things? Like I told you, my great grandfather, he was walking and he felt something heavy fell in his pocket. And then he put his hand in his pocket, he found an artifact. He's like, what the hell is this? And then he kept it passing on till now. This thing is still here. We have no idea what that thing is. Till this day, we have no idea what it is. But my mother said this thing, it passes on like this from grandfather to son, for son to son to son, until they find out what they can do with it. Meditate on this, man. Meditate on your fathers or forefathers, what they used to do, things that you did, brothers. Brethren, with all that being said, this is my backup channel. This is the only channel that I advertise to subscribe, and and it is monetized. Okay, YouTube, it monetized by me and also YouTube. So ad will play on this one. The other doesn't have ads. Okay, ad will be playing. If you're watching my video, see ads on it, that means it's monetized. Brethren, we are all going to go watch Beloved Big Judah videos. And then tomorrow we will go on part 3 and letter 3 and see who were those people who were under heavy burden. Yes, sister, DNA has memory. You can actually use DNA to do time travel. Brother, time travel doesn't necessarily mean you have to physically be back in time. You can go to sleep, you dream time travel. You see everything that happened. My grandmother used to do this. I used to ask Grandma, how do you know those things? Grandma, how did you know what's that? He buried that thing right over there. She said, I saw him. You weren't there, Grandma. She said, I know. I don't have time to explain to you. Shut up. I just saw it. My grandmother was very rude when you keep questioning her. When you ask her something, she telling you, and then you're like, this is impossible. And then you keep questioning her. Like I told you, she used to take like fiery wood with her hand. Just hold it. The fire is burning. The big ass wood is burning bright in her hand. She just crushed it. Her hand is still the same. And I'm like, Grandma, I was scared of her. I was scared of what she was doing. She said, don't worry, you can do this too. One day, you'll be able to do the same. You'll do better. Yeah, my grandmother never set her feet inside of a church, never set her feet inside of a school, never set her feet inside of a hospital until the day she was dying. My mother took her to an hospital and she laughed. She told my mom, what are you doing? What are we doing here? Those people don't know anything. Yeah. My grandmother told my mother, it's time for me. I have to go. I have to go see my people. And my mom cried, said, don't go. Say, I have to go, my daughter. And then she gave a specific message to me and my children. Yeah, very wise. Most of our old people, brothers, that's how they die. They never went to school. They never went to church. They die like that. Brothers, by the power of the Most High, gifted in me, invested in me, I'm leaving all of you in peace. Be at peace. We're all going to go to Big Judah and watch this video, brother. And I'm assuming this video is about what happened over there in the capital. Anyway, brothers, we'll go ahead and watch that, okay? Be at peace, brother. I will see you tomorrow for the prayer. And also, we'll be back here to finish letter 3, okay? Shalom. May the King reign forever. Love, respect.